Gonna be Dragthorus first up versus Locked Up, already singeing those wings a little bit. I like your mock, by the way. I like how so chill that is. We got Dragthorus looking like a elemental wind overlord. Big interrupt onto Locked Up. Looks like it's gonna be a big Infernal coming down by the Warlock. Got himself a big Decimating Bolt, so Warthros better be extra careful with the Decimating Bolt. As long as he got a defensive, you should be in a good spot. Potential try to see if you can make a big play right now. Try to go for a big swipe. Decimated Bolt, trinkets out of it, interrupted it to fully. That's gonna be a big shatter to follow. Dragthorus with a big brand, gonna be a wall for Locked Up. Big damage with the disintegrates. Try to see if you can take down the Warlock right then and there. Big disintegrates right after. As long as he doesn't get interrupted, he's gonna be in a good spot. Doesn't get locked down on blue, but can still go red casting. Gonna be big cast bolt up and running. Locked Up is like taking a lot of damage. Got himself one bolt, second bolt. To see him some big incinerates. Looks like maybe Warthros was doing quite a bit of damage to him. Actually putting in some pressure. Try to go for incinerates, but it's gonna be a port instead. As long as you have an interrupt for the incinerate, you're gonna be in a good spot. Doesn't interrupt on incinerate, gonna be cast a circle. It turns right after, trying to see if he can back up out of the incinerate. Does he just disintegrate him down, try to go for a fear? Might actually just have him here. Incinerate goes flying. Is it enough though? Barely. Oh my god, it's so much damage. That one incinerate is so scary. Fear, could put him in a bad spot. Actually, wait, Chaos Bolt instead. Could get locked out, doesn't get locked out. Could go for Incinerate. Actually, no more Incinerates. Dropping down Infernal, big Incinerator, but he doesn't have the big burst anymore. That's gonna be quick on the pet as well as the Warlock. My god, that damage is so high. Does Drag just take him out right here? He has him just on the ropes. It looks like he's gonna beam him down after a moment or two. Are they really gonna set Garaber up next? Oh no. Dragthorus is definitely not ready for Garaber. Kind of licking his wounds, doesn't have the kunas and he needs no trinket or anything. Maybe in a bit of trouble, doesn't have deep breath, so he could potentially at least fly out of there and maybe catch up on healing, but this man is just bleeding. Oh my god. The bleed. Just bleeding out profusely. It is crazy. Stone to Garaber as he does close the gap with Kali, but it's still a stun. Spiritual Follow. Does Kali have any out of it? I think it may be over. Yeah, unless you got a feign death, maybe without Legendary to break out of that CC effects. Quick reflect on the Void Break. Oh no, that's actually twice he's got him now. Is it going in to cannibalize off the Warlock, just trying to see if he can catch up with whatever health he can, I guess? Or just maybe BM him? I'm not even sure. Quick charge towards Void Break. Got him some full PI. Fear into Garaber. Does have Berserker Rage. Gonna be the pet joining in. Void Break just to get as much damage up and running as possible. Got himself a trick and full PI still at the ready. I think he's just trying to use whatever instant cast he's got versus Garaber. Trying to get interrupted on Shadow. Got himself a Disperse. Before Garaber even got any big cooldowns, he just tried to see if he can mitigate whatever damage he can of this Fury Warrior. Mind Games, gonna be a Storm Bolt onto Void Break. Garaber, kind of limited what he can do. Trying to see if he can just wait out the Mind Games with a quick Fear onto Void. Into a spear. Does Void have any hours for it? Try to see if he can Greater Fate out of it, but he doesn't have the big Greater Fate. Oh! He just melted down. He just got bled up with an Odin's Fury Avatar Spear. And the man just melted. That is super unforged. Dali's gonna be up next. Try to see if he can get over there. Gonna be Dala trying to go for a bit of a death mark with full dots on the Garaber. Does maintain himself in a defensive stance with that evasion on Cloak Shadows. Trying to make sure he's very, very careful with Garaber. Are those dots gonna be enough though? Does go into advantage. Garaber has nothing to hit, but looks like the dots are not really doing anything to him. Gonna be a spear down. Dala can't really go anywhere. Trying to flash counter, but I think it's gonna be down. Yeah, not much you can really do. As Garaber does end up taking it down. Imprisoned Garaber does have a Berserker Rage for it, trying to see if he can hit him with a fear, cut him off at the edge, but doesn't get to. Try to drop down all of these sigils, but doesn't quite catch him yet. Big Haunt by Illidan, try to see if he can use that Haunt together with a Metamorphosis Leech in order to siphon held back off of Garaber, but Garaber just try to see if he can avoid him as best as he can. Does not have a stun yet, don't fear for a while. It's going to be a trinket going down, but this is where Illidan needs to make sure he has a stun. Oh! And Garaber just cuts him off at the edge. Oh my goodness, this doesn't let the boy play at all. 4 for Garaber, Jesus. Oh, there it is. Garaber gonna be first up versus Selly. Blocking him down with a quick stun. Gonna be meter checker for Selly. Maybe in a bit of trouble. He's gonna be a spear down for Garaber as he's getting stunned up by the intimidation. Selly can't really go anywhere, but at least he got Garaber on a lockdown for a second. Maybe looking at the potential freezing trap. Is gonna be Garaber trying to see if he can blast through the pet. What are these chains on ya? I'm not even sure what these are. Is that a chicken by Selly? Big damage by the warrior, slamming down and decapitating Selly in the arena. That is super unfortunate. Is it gonna be Dali up next? I think nobody out here wants to fight Garaber, dude. They're just like, alright, trying to throw responsibility after one another. But what if boys may be able to do? Big stun reflect onto Void Break immediately with a spear. Void Break may need to be looking at his burst. Last time, He made the mistake of not using disperse early enough. Here, he's actually doing it, but even through the disperse healing, the damage of Garbage is able to crack right through that big defensive, is able to root Garber for just a second, trying to see if he can walk him out of there. This big amount of void eruptions, void barrages. Get it set, add the warriors. He's trying to see if he can maybe find himself a bit of a cover. Trying to go for a bit of a reflect. I don't know if he was able to reflect and mind goes back to void break. I doubt it. But Garber is actually in a tight spot. Maybe in a bad way. This is going to be checking out a void break. Does he have a stun for Garber? Garber no longer has a reflect. So this could potentially be an opportunity for void break to catch up and do a bit of damage. But Garber is looking to fiend as much health as humanly possible. Big Dazat eruptions onto Gara as the dots are back on him. But void break may be in a bit of trouble, especially with that spear. Needs some kind of an answer for here, this one. But a silence is not going to be enough as Garber does end up rampaging on him. Illidan going to be up next, trying to see if he can potentially fight through the Fury Warrior. Hitting him with Imprison immediately, but a stun out of Garber is going to be fear out of Illidan. Does go for Trinket. Big hunt to follow, able to maybe use the hunt as well as the Metamorphosis to catch up on a lot of healing. Is going to be able to catch back up to Garber, try to hit him with an Eye Beam. Garber looking to back up out of the, he says Metamorphosis. Sees the hunt. He wants to deny the Demon Hunter as much healing as he can. I think maybe just trying to see if he can wait for some cooldowns of his own. Is able to go for a big impending victory. Catch up on a lot of health. Big rampage to follow Illidan. Maybe in a bit of trouble. Garber trying to see if he can catch up to him. Does go for the longest charge in the world. Stun to Garber. Does Illidan have enough here to survive? And Garber just goes in to claim him down in just a few hits. Garber no longer has Recklessness, so at least he's down on certain cooldowns. Does get an interrupt into a Stormbolt immediately onto Drakthorus, trying to see if he can tank this up. Root onto Garber, trying to see if he can just leap out of there. Garber's looking to close the gap, but that root is going to last for quite a bit. It's actually just rooted in place. It's been a bit. Does Drakthorus try to see if he can catch back up in full of health? Living Flame back up while he's got that movement. Dampening isn't really locking him down too badly in terms of healing, so he should be okay. Should be able to recover quite a bit. Next to me is a spear. Could be really bad. Drakthorus with a big burst. Oh my god, there goes the burst of a Drakthir. Just took him out. The warrior was just dominating, rampaging, and Drakthorus, all he had to do is just breathe on the guy. You know, everybody else on that team, like Shadow Priest and the Demon Hunter, like, hey, come on, I softened him up for you. My god, could Drakthorus come back here? That was massive. Big burst out of the Evoker, does lock out Lock-in. Big breath right after, trying to see if he can use hover for mobility, getting interrupted on blue, trying to go for a bit of red healing, and looking to catch back up full. That's going to be a big drain onto a Lock-in, as Lock-in does look for a bit of recovery. Drax still has cooldowns available, so he definitely needs to make himself a big go right now, if at all possible. A big shadow onto Lock-in. Lock-in just looking to line aside it while he's got himself a defensive. And Lock-in just kind of waiting those dots. He got him locked in. He just waited until, do the dots set the Evoker off the edge here? Or does the Evoker make a comeback as Drakthorus is trying to go for as much surveillance as possible? Need some kind of CC chains for Lock-in though. Big defensive, Decimating Bolt, got interrupted, Sleepwalking, trying to see if he can control him. That's going to be big kills back to back for Drakthorus. Does he have yet another CC for Lock-in? Does go for a quick stun, Shatter to follow, but looks like he's going to be going down to those dots. That is a rough one, man. Affliction Warlocks right now are back to the full dot business, man. Full damage over time business. As long as they can maintain their dots, it's a lot of pressure. Dala going for Trick Advantage to follow, trying to make sure he can get some damage versus Lock-in. Full deathback at the ready. So it's really going to be down to Lock-in, trying to see if he can survive the burst from the Rogue. The Rogue does have a Cloak of Shadows in case he needs to. Flash Cut for Lock-in, looking to get himself a little bit of survivability. Dali does not have any dots on him, so Lock-in definitely needs to try to see if he can play out some dots onto Dali as soon as humanly possible. Trying to go for a quick fear. Blind, but using that blind just to give himself a bit of an escape into a Kid Shadow after Dark back. Fear onto the Rogue, does break fairly quickly. It's going to be Lock-in trying to go for a bit of more damage. Got himself a full Nature Dot from the, what's it called? Nature Dot from the, oh, he can't even do anything at that point. Cloak of Shadows. Nature Dot. Why am I struggling? It's actually a disease, isn't it? It's not even like a dot, it's more like a disease. Night Phase, Soul Rot. Why did I draw a blank on that one? It was right in front of me. But Locked up just trying to see if he could get himself a big Decimating Bolt. Does have an interrupt for it. Does Dali have any more damage to follow? If he has himself a big Deathwick, potentially can make a play. As long as he doesn't let those Case Bolts and Incinerate strike, he may be alright. Gonna be a big Death Bolt to follow for Locked up. Get his shot right after. Dali trying to get some damage in, but no Cloak of Shadows. Decimating Bolt is just gonna end it right here. And it's over. Not even a cheap Death was gonna stop it. There it is. How are you in the air? What the hell happened? But there it is, boys. The Evoker made a pretty big return. Couldn't quite best a Warlock, but was able to at least take down the warrior that was just rampaging through the entire team.